tough training, tough lifestyle, rough and tough. But listen, how else would I want it? I love it. So what am I bringing differently? I wouldn't say a new mindset, but definitely like a new perspective. But ultimately, everything new has to lead to a win. So yeah, that's what I'm focused on right now, just winning. You train 12 weeks, you're sparring, you're hitting the heavy bag. Then you fight one guy, and it's like hell. You go through hell to win.
Jab, 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 like a shoom, shoom, yes. Tap your hand, your hand. Boom, boom, hand. Boom, boom, boom. Woo.
Anthony Joshua is leaving no stone unturned for Christian Pranga, bringing Oleksandr Usyk into camp as he pushes through one of his most intense preparations yet.
But it's for me to want to push myself. This is what I do, this is what I live for. I'm ready for battle. I feel like I'm getting stronger, and I feel by the time the fight comes, I'll be at peak performance.
You like coconut? Yes, you like. We drink cold coconut with ice and music. Reggae. Yeah. No long step. Long, yeah. Wait a second. Good coconut. Yeah. Delicious. Long step, long step. Yes.
Joshua is sharpening his strengths under the same team that helped turn Usyk into the undisputed heavyweight champion of this era, and the energy inside camp is impossible to ignore.
3, 2, 1, let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The training is demanding, but Joshua remains focused on one objective, showing the world how much he has improved when he steps into the ring against Pranga on fight night.
Back on my feet. I got through the pain of the blister. Back to work. 100 miles in. The ultimate goal, yeah, is to walk out that night of the fight and know you put in 100%. You put in 100% every minute of the day, or every other minute of the day, because no one's perfect. Every other minute of the day, you try to give your...
Blending new techniques into camp, Usyk is helping Joshua sharpen his skills while also pushing him mentally, encouraging the same disciplined and selfless attitude that defines his own success.
Is another AJ little. You strong, you big AJ, but you have another small AJ who, hey brother, please stop. Is another Sasha say me too. Hey Sasha, stop. Say, hey, get out. I don't know who are you. Only here, like run, training. Yeah.
Usyk has one clear mission, helping Joshua reach the level required to become an undisputed champion, and every day in camp reflects that goal. As Joshua embraces the guidance and work being invested in him, those around him can see the transformation taking place. His team believes spending time alongside a champion like Usyk has strengthened his mindset and sharpened his ambition. For Joshua, the setbacks of the past are not weighing him down, but fueling a deeper determination to create history and return to the top.
And even in this gym, it's like you put through the test because, I mean, it's one thing to say you want to hang out with champs and hang out with other fighters, another thing to be able to endure the workout and endure the work, so it's a big thing. He's been pushing himself. He's asking me, what can I do more? How can I be better? How can I build my fitness more? And that's really a sign of a great individual and a great champion, someone who really wants to be better. And he's working, he's doing it, and it's 100-degree heat.
There is a saying, I would say, there's a saying that a happy fighter makes a dangerous fighter, in the sense that if you put them in the right environment, and their brain is receptive of what they're being taught, they're going to be more in tune with what they're going through.
But while Joshua remains focused on training alongside Usyk, the man many believe is the ultimate target behind all this preparation is already making noise. Tyson Fury could not resist taking aim at both rivals, mocking their partnership and turning the situation into a public joke. Rather than showing concern about what is happening in camp, Fury projected complete confidence and brushed off the alliance entirely. His comments add another layer of tension to a heavyweight rivalry that continues to simmer beneath the surface.
You got Usyk and Joshua teaming up, two fucking sausages fruits with the masks on training. And you got me and my boy here, the two best drinkers, partiers in the game. Ain't no better than us. Oh, Pablo J and Tyson Montana. Let's go. Let's go.
And the heat is not only coming from Fury. Christian Prenga's manager Keith Sullivan has also fired shots at Joshua, warning that their plan is not to see the final bell. He insists they have studied Joshua closely and identified key weaknesses, especially how he struggles to regain control once his rhythm is broken. According to Sullivan, that is exactly what they intend to exploit. He calls the fight a dangerous one for Joshua, suggesting the outcome could be far more risky than many expect.
So we don't need 12 rounds. We don't need 1,000 punches. We just need 1 or 2 good punches on AJ's jaw to get him uncomfortable. We've seen it time and time again. When he gets hit in the right spot, he gets out of his comfort zone and loses control. And once we get him to that place, KP can step in and take over the fight. It's a really risky fight for Anthony Joshua.
The main point, however, is that Joshua is still seen as levels above Prenga, and that is where Keith Sullivan says reality must be considered. He does not question Joshua's overall ability, but he believes Prenga is still dangerous enough to compete, especially with his record of 20 knockouts. Sullivan also references Usyk versus Rico Verhoeven, pointing out how Rico was not expected to trouble Usyk but still surprised many. In response, Simon Jordan argues that past examples do not guarantee anything, noting how Francis Ngannou troubled Fury but was then stopped more decisively by Joshua.
Of course.
As far as you're concerned.
Of course.
But we concede that.
On you go, Keith.
We've conceded that. We don't doubt that. But KP is a caliber enough of a fighter that he can take over in the ring and win this fight. That's the point that we've been making.
Look
at Rico versus Usyk. Did you think Rico was on the same caliber and on par with Usyk's talent?
That's a great point.
Absolutely not. But look at that fight.
Keith, I was just about to use that as an analogy, actually, when you're talking about guys coming from crossover fights. But Rico Verhoeven, seems to be at a different level, to be totally honest, to your guy when you looked at that going in.
I mean, the exception doesn't prove the rule. To go to Keith's point, he can use the Rico Verhoeven, but the exception doesn't prove the rule any more than Ngannou making Tyson Fury have a difficult fight and actually Joshua knocking him out.
Reflecting on Joshua's mindset, Tony Bellew shares that a fighter of Joshua's caliber has always leaned toward legacy-defining fights rather than chasing money, and he believes that same mentality still drives him today. According to Bellew, the goal inside Joshua's camp has not changed, but this time there is a new challenge standing in the way. He describes it as a major stepping stone that must be overcome before the long-awaited fight with Fury can ever become reality, making this next bout a crucial test.
Listen, when you talk about AJ, I don't think money's ever been the goal. I think it's always been a legacy and always been how he's talked about when this game's over. I mean, you've got to understand, this boy's been under the spotlight since 2012. Yeah. And that's a long time to be under the spotlight. And I'm talking literally a microscope, Paddy. That Olympic gold on home territory, the London Olympics, he exploded. And the fame, the money, none of it's got to him. He's still the same lad and he carries himself brilliantly. But we've just got to be totally honest now. This is another challenge, and it's the final stumbling block before the big one. Yeah. And that's what it is. It's a stumbling block. Prenga might not be great, but there's one thing that he can do. He can punch.
To add on to his mindset, experts are appreciating how Joshua is learning from a fighter who has defeated him not once, but twice. They believe this approach is bringing a new level of positivity and growth into his camp, with Usyk helping shape a more complete version of him. Usyk's influence is seen as turning Joshua into a more resilient and focused fighter, almost bulletproof in preparation. The training he is going through is expected to be fully showcased on Fight Night against Prenga. Analysts also highlight that Joshua's attitude and willingness willingness to absorb guidance is something that cannot be ignored.
It looks like Oleksandr Usyk's almost giving him a different mentality as well.
Yeah.
He looks a lot mentally stronger.
Yeah, he seems bulletproof, doesn't he, in that area? Look, you've got to give him so much credit for always looking for new knowledge. Look, no one ever perfects this. And look, the great man there just sort of giving him advice is massive. I mean, you're talking about fine margins, that small percentage. This could be the difference. You know, that bulletproof mindset is something that can really drive you to places you can only ever dream of. And like, I think he's a special person, but to take on that knowledge is special. And invaluable, Tony.
The shift in Joshua's mindset is now being noticed by everyone, and Eddie Hearn is no exception. He believes this new wave in the way Joshua speaks and prepares shows just how much he has evolved, not only after recent defeats, but also through personal struggles he has faced. Hearn acknowledges that much of this guidance is coming directly from Usyk and his team. In his view, Joshua now looks sharper, more focused, and fully motivated, ready to push once again toward the undisputed crown.
He's not talking just about 25th. He's talking about Fury. He's talking about trying to become world champion again. He believes again. Now, whether this has been because of what he's been through, or whether this has been, and I think a lot of it has been through the support and guidance of Team Usyk and Oleksandr himself, once he starts believing in himself, he's a big problem.
Riding high on Joshua's progress, Eddie Hearn goes a step further, insisting that he will not only beat Prenga, but dominate him in a statement performance before moving on to bigger names like Fury. Hearn believes Joshua is operating at a completely different level now, shaped by experience and the recent changes in his camp. However, he also warns that if Joshua fails to overcome Prenga, it could become a career-defining setback given everything he has already achieved. For Hearn, this fight carries pressure, expectation, and a clear path toward what comes next.
We can't beat Christian Prenga. We don't deserve to be in a ring with Tyson Fury.
You don't
So
want someone
yes,
you
of
haven't
course,
got, good.
everybody's dangerous. This guy, I actually didn't know he was European kickboxing champion. That's given me a massive bum twinge, I'll be honest with you. But this isn't a guy who was a kickboxing world champion who's never boxed before. He's got 20 fights, 20 wins, 20 knockouts. Like, he's an accomplished fighter. Now, just because he's never beaten an elite world level guy, guess what? He's never fought one.
Yeah. Doesn't mean
So we might be bang unlucky, and he might be really good. But hopefully, and I believe with what I'm seeing, AJ will go out there and poleaxe this guy. And guess what? Once he does that, he's going to poleaxe Tyson Fury as well.
Adding his thoughts, Carl Frampton pushes back on the idea of calling it a warm-up fight, saying it is never that simple in boxing. In his view, every opponent deserves full respect because anything can happen once the bell rings. Frampton agrees that Joshua having a fight before a potential Fury clash makes sense given everything he has been through, including setbacks outside the ring. However, he admits he knows very little about Prenga and would need to study him properly. He also warns that while Joshua is expected to win, there is always a risk of something unexpected changing the entire direction of his plans.
Isn't it? I don't even like the term warm-up fight because it's almost like it's like, you know, I'm going to go and sort this guy out and then we'll move on to the next one. I think it's right that AJ does have a fight before he fights Fury just because of everything that's went on with the car crash and everything else that he's had to deal with. But I, to be honest, I know zero about this opponent, so I'll need to do a little bit of research to see what he's like first. But I just don't like that term, warm-up fight, but that's what they're calling it, isn't it? And there's always a chance he could slip up. There's always a chance AK could break his hand off this guy's head and put him out for a while, so you never know what's going to happen.
Promoter Lou DiBella has added his own blunt assessment of Prenga, suggesting the matchup itself raises serious questions. He describes Prenga as a physically imposing and tough presence, the kind of heavyweight who can trouble anyone if given space to land clean shots. While acknowledging his strength and durability, DiBella still doubts whether he belongs at the highest level. His comments add another layer to the debate, with opinions sharply divided on how competitive this fight will truly be.
Certainly shouldn't be in the ring with a doorman. Sure. And that's what Christian Prenga is. I know him very well. I tried to sign him multiple times. As an opponent, more as an opponent who sold tickets for Broadway boxing to fight other pedestrian sort of heavyweights that I thought he wouldn't even beat, but he was a ticket seller. He is a very physically strong, just cock-strong dude. He's just like a doorman, like literally a doorman at a nightclub kind of guy. But you wouldn't want to be head flush by him if you weren't looking. The kick and punch, if he's slow, but I mean, if you don't see him and he telegraphs a punch at you and it lands, he might hurt you.
Lou DiBella doubled down on his criticism, going even further in questioning Prenga's place near elite-level competition. He argues that Prenga is nowhere close to the environment Anthony Joshua operates in, not even in sparring discussions or gym comparisons. DiBella points out his knockout record, but suggests the level of opposition raises doubts about its real value. His comments continue to fuel controversy around the fight, sharpening the divide between supporters and skeptics of Prenga's challenge.
But does he belong near Anthony? He doesn't belong in the same friggin' gym, doesn't belong in the same state or country, doesn't belong in a sparring session. In fact, the people around Anthony wouldn't really pick him as a sparring partner against a good heavyweight because he's not going to give you that kind of work. You know, he had a lot of knockouts on his record. He's got a 21-1 record, even though he fought Bozo the Clowns.
Is there, okay, so I understand, I had mixed feelings about the
No,
announcement
there's no mixed feelings. That's not a fight, dude.
No,
That's in a try.
Is there grace to be had that the fact
No,
that he
the
went through
accident,
this-
no.
Why?
No, dude, come on, man.
DiBella does not hold back when discussing whether Joshua truly needs this fight, arguing that it serves no real purpose for his career direction. In his view, Joshua has already faced enough unusual matchups, including his fight with Jake Paul, making this one even harder to justify. He is not willing to label it as a tune-up or a warm-up bout. Instead, he openly questions why the fight is happening at all and what it truly proves for Joshua moving forward.
Look at his whole career.
I'm not
He's earned his
defending
living
the
outside
fight.
of it. No, it's not a fight.
It's a tune-up. It's
not even a tune-up. What are you tuning up? The you tuning up? How are you getting better fighting a guy that can't fight at all?
For the record, I hate the fact that we're not getting Fury Joshua
No,
next.
I don't give a shit about that. You know what? If he needed, first of all, I don't get the
Who
argument
should
he
he have
needed to
fought?
fight.
Like a Deontay?
He didn't need to fight. He just fought Jake Paul. What the fuck does he have to fight?
And then he got into a car accident.
So what?
And he almost died.
Well, I mean, that's a little bit.
No, I mean, two people in the car.
Two people in the car died, but he wasn't seriously hurt. But that's neither here nor there.
An inch
Does
away.
he need it for his confidence? Wait, was his confidence shot because people died? What? Explain
Maybe.
to me. No, come on, man, stop.
What are you talking about?
No, I mean, what am I talking about? He's fighting a hobo.
Life.
And as this entire narrative builds, one question keeps rising above everything else. Can Joshua's work with Usyk finally complete the story and take him back to the undisputed throne? From power talks to tactical shifts, from criticism to praise, every angle now points toward a fighter trying to reinvent himself at the highest level. But in the end, it all comes down to fight night and whether this new version of Joshua delivers when it matters most. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next update because this story is only getting started.